We are back with another part of Two Sides of the Same Turnabout YouTube. I did something in between the two videos because I needed a drink and I had something else that I had open. So I just realized I had to do. So anyways, I'm sorry, Mr. Locke, but I don't quite understand. So the killer locked the door from the outside, okay? But what do those keys have to do with anything? I thought it was proven that they couldn't have been used. Yes, I must admit, it was quite a clever plan. By combining keys that couldn't individually be used, the murderer was able to create the locked room. I'm not sure keys quite work that way, Mr. Locke. Let me explain from the beginning. This trick was actually required some preparation beforehand. At some time before the murder, the killer borrowed the spare key to the victim's room. However, the key that they later returned to the supervisor was not the actual spare key. What? But I thought when Mr. Snatter testified, said that it would have been impossible. Didn't he say he had implemented the silver safeguards into the design to make duplication impossible? The killer neither duplicated nor forged the key. The key the killer gave to Mr. Smaddick was a genuine key that Mr. Smaddick himself had ordered. Specifically, the apartment key from Virginia's Meadow 6 years ago. The killer took the key from the police's evidence room and wiped the ash and soot off it. They then switched the key rings from the true spare key and the key from 6 years ago. Well, the key from 6 years ago can't actually open a door anymore. It looks exactly the same as any other key from the apartment building. It even has the proper apartment number engraved on it. Plus, it would have been paired with the actual blue tag for the real spare key. Granted, the teeth on the key would be different. However, that's not something I think you'd be able to tell without directly comparing it. Ah, I see. It would certainly be very difficult to tell by sight if any of those keys were switched. Exactly on. In this way, while everyone else thought that the spare key was inside the superintendent's box, the spare key was actually still in the murderer's possession. Thus, they could lock the crime scene from the outside normally. Yes, this would certainly work. But wasn't the spare key actually used to unlock the room? That's even easier to explain, Your Honor. Naturally, this killer had the true spare key to the room on their person. After the spare key was taken from the box, but before it was used to unlock the crime scene, the killer simply removed the key from 6 years ago from the key ring and put the real key back. Thus, when that key was used to unlock the room, it seemed perfectly normal. I see. This theory certainly seems to explain the locked room. The culprit should be clear. The killer was someone who both knew about had access to the key from 6 years ago, someone who had borrowed the spare key prior to the murder, and someone who had unmonitored access to the spare key after it was taken from the box. There's only one person who fulfills these conditions. That's right, the culprit is Henry Gresham. Well, this theory certainly makes more sense than the first time you accused me, Mr. Gresham. However, I still cannot be the killer. Let me explain why your theory doesn't work. Of course, he wouldn't go down with a fight. But if it's really him, then why? I can't see him ever doing this. Anyways, I'll rebuttal again. Haha. The murder method. Sure, I'll admit that this method of creating the locked room was possible. Still, considering the murder method, it's impossible for me to have been the killer. Oberon was stabbed several times with a knife, losing a lot of blood. The whole crime scene was covered in blood, so the murderer must have gotten someone on the buildings. Since my clothes weren't bloody, I couldn't have been the one who made the crime. That's certainly convincing. Nonsense. There's several ways he could have gotten around that. Oh? Then by all means enlighten me. He doesn't seem worried at all. What is he planning? Dang it, Henry. Just what the heck are you thinking? And here we are. Do again? I'll need to see it better to actually figure this out. Press everything. In other words, I'm no longer the only possible suspect. Not so fast. It's true that I could have switched the keys the way you described. But for now, that was mere conjecture. First of all, only I could have possibly done it, considering I was the one who took the script. So if it turns out I couldn't have committed the murder, that possibility is meaningless. Well, unlike Miss Mel in Regina's case, he didn't even have much of an alibi, did he? It's true that I wasn't together with anybody for the entire estimated time of the murder. I could out that Mrs. Matic only saw me enter one time together with Miss Green. We already established that Mrs. Matic hasn't been on his person the whole time. He could have easily used one of the steps to enter the apartment earlier without being seen. True, I suppose. I can't say I have an alibi. Not one of that sort, in any case. Still, considering the murder method, it's impossible for me to have been the killer. Impressive! I imagine I just explained why it was indeed possible. I'm not talking about how the room is locked. As I was saying, I can see we're on par with more or less. They could have left the room locked from the inside. They could have done that with whoever key switch. Leaving alone which one sounds more likely. We are even in that room. We're even in it. However, the same can't be said as to which of us could have actually killed the victim. Blah 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 da 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 da. I take it there would have been no other way this could have happened. What do you think would have happened? Well, he could have been stabbed with the knife left in the room. Then, a while after death, the knife was pulled out and he was stabbed a couple more times. That way, the culprit would be able to avoid getting blood on his person. That's impossible. The victim died from the third step, as is noted in the autopsy. In other words, that at the very least be two open wounds already by the time. Right, I forgot about the autopsy report. Besides, the blood at the crime scene tells a clear story as well. That's like it's a fact, but what if there was in fact a way to kill the victim without killing them on your list? What do you have in mind? Well, what if the culprit... saying that they use something to stop the blood from getting up their clothes. However, that's impossible. Nothing like this that was found in the trunks. Considering the valence and the way the blood was found, it must have been quite big. The culprit couldn't have taken it with them. It would have been risky to run around with a bloody arm. Can you really provide anything like that? Something to completely block the blood from getting down the clothes? Yes, and the evidence. The threadbare needle predicts. This is what the culprit used to shoot himself.
Take that!
Can't say how to use the painting. It must have been quite big. And if there was any blood on it, they'd have burned it away afterwards. Interesting theory, but I doubt they could have stared around at the painting without getting blood on their sleeves. Well, they still could have stepped through the painting. Since it was burned afterwards, nobody would have known. I'm sorry, but that's what happened. They have found blood on the frame. Besides, it's not that long. The murder would have been able to shoot their Well, the prosecution cleared it up, but it was a valid suggestion. So I'll let the defense off. This is thanks, Joe. Let's try it later. Alright then. Now, I don't remember what to do after that.
Objection!
What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Don't remember. Blood on your clothes together. Don't see how that gets you off the hook, Oh, well, what exactly do you suggest I do with my clothes? You obviously change your clothes. You simply change them afterwards. It's simple. You just brought back clothes. I don't think so. Let's assume I changed clothes. You were still short on blood clothes. After all, the clues that the blood got on couldn't just have vanished. No. The only bloody clothes we had found at the crime scene were the ones you were wearing. Now, don't even suggest I wore those. Your clothes wouldn't fit you. Couldn't you just have left with your bloody clothes? And this being seen in the film, we'd be talking about a full suit. No, I have been waiting. This is an apocalypse. If I had gone out into the hallway with them, we ran the prison could have come by instead. In other words, if these clothes existed, I'd needed to leave them at the crime scene. Well, maybe they are still at the crime scene. By all means, ask the detective over there. We investigated it together. I can guarantee that I didn't hide any evidence of the report. Can you still claim that I left the spare clothes at the crime scene? I can. It's all there in the court record. But the issue is another thing. But fine. Then please show us where those spare clothes are now.
Take that!
Finally, I understand the significance of everything that was at the crime scene now. There's a very simple reason those bloody clothes were never discovered. They don't exist anymore. What? Well, the clothes themselves might not exist anymore. Their remains are a different story. The bloody clothes that Henry wore while committing the crime are right here. The picture frame? How do you turn clothes into a picture frame? Not that picture frame, John. Rather, the ashes that were below the picture frame. Henry burned the bloody suit he wore while committing the crime. Huzzah! This explains the burned painting that was found at the crime scene. As Henry himself said, he obviously couldn't keep wearing the bloody suit, so he burned it. However, he then placed the empty picture frame on the wall to the hot coat. There were two ways it did this. The first one was simply that directly made us believe that the burned object had been a painting. The second way was that it made us believe there was a connection to Retina's murder. We believed that the murderer burned the object to make the crime scene the same as the Retina, rather than because it was necessary part of the plan. In other words, Henry used Retina's murder as a motif to hide the truth of this case, and that explains Henry's supposed contradiction. It certainly does. Congratulations, Salim. Your theory doesn't have any problems in it. Now tell me, can you prove it? Of course, we just have to, wait a second here. That's right. There's no way to prove your theory. Those ashes, let's analyze them and prove they were clothes.
Objection!
That's the point, now they're just ashes. Both clothes and canvas paintings are nothing but cloth and dye. At this point you wouldn't be able to tell the two apart. If they were my clothes, my skin or hair would obviously be on. All that stuff would have been burned away. In other words, even if you can prove the ashes were clothes, you can't prove they're mine. I guess you might somehow be able to find traces of Oberon's blood or blood. That still wouldn't prove they were blood clothes. After all, there was a lot of blood at the front. Possible that blood representing Oberon's blood fire onto the paintings on the wall. Yes. Then we'll check the fingerprints. On what? The key? Oberon's key had no fingerprints. It was spare key. So it would be only natural for my fingerprints here. After all, I used it the entire week before the night. First I was the one who brought the strategy from the left to the front. Sometimes I need to remove my left when doing small items like these. And that'll be quite important later on. So, anyway. But it was imprint of mine on the sheet on there from one to the two. There's no way to put it up on there during that weird key switching trick. Well, you won't be able to prove anything with any other fingerprint too. After all, I was both a friend of the victim and the investigator for this case. Only fingerprints of mine in the apartment got there during one of my other visits there. But don't forget the other key. It's supposed to be kept in the police evidence room. If you took it, there should be evidence of that. Obviously, the police monitors access to their evidence. And yes, if you check the record, you'll see that I visited that room a few times in the past week. But it still works. I merely went into the evidence room as part of my job. If you go check the case file for Retina's murder, I'm sure you'd find that it's safe to check. Oh, and even if you can somehow prove that I took in the removed time that still doesn't prove that I actually used it in the way you said. After all, I wasn't supposed to entirely express myself. There's nothing suspicious about this interview happening from one of my past cases. Well, what about the internet? commit this murder, you would have to have listened to me living early in the morning. Yeah, but how can you prove I did? As you discovered earlier, Mrs. Manning left his place just time that morning. So, while I admit that there were openings in the place I sneaked into the building, by that same token, there's no way to prove that I actually did. Needless to say, there wasn't a security camera monitoring entrance, or anything. So, anything else? No! To la reverse! Haha! Anyways... I'll take this here. The spaghetti carbonara. I still don't know how to pronounce that. Here for me, please. The same for me. Understood. Wait, actually, I think I'll have this giant exquisite lobster deluxe here instead. Okay. That was an unexpected last-second change. Well, it's been a while since I've been able to eat in a place like this. I figured I should use this chance after all and go for something extraordinary instead. Thanks again for the invitation, Henry. No problem, it's a special occasion after all. It's really been that long already, huh? And yeah, I have to agree, this place is passable. Nice as always, I see. Well, I'll admit this has its own unique atmosphere. Even though I'm still curious why exactly somebody would name the restaurant Coin's Cross. Maybe it's a crossroad. What? You'll have to explain that one. You know, when you toss a coin to make a decision, there are two possible outcomes. Let's say this creates two different outcomes that both exist in a separate reality. One where the coin showed heads, and one where it showed tails. I somehow doubt you are on the right track, overall. Besides, in that case, the coin's fork would make much more sense. Even fits with this being a restaurant. Well, but people would both come together and go separate ways again here. But probably means this is the place where the two paths chrome together again. After that, it's once again up to them what path to continue on. In other words, a new decision. It's both a place of convergence and divergence, I guess. You know, I've really missed hearing something like that from you. Like a mother, like a son. Though I still doubt this is anywhere close to the correct interpretation. Your ordered meals, dear customers. Thanks. This'll be delicious. Much appreciated. Thank you, Ack. Oh dear. I'm terribly sorry. My hand slipped, and my gloves are completely soaked. Well, it's just water, so... my greatest apologies. Please let me dry this up. It's fine, it happens. For some reason, this feels familiar. Well, I'm guessing that's the last time you're visiting this one, right, Helene? I'm not that unforgiving. Just try the food. It'll brighten your mood up again. Trust me, I didn't choose this place for no reason. Well then, bon appetit. A vest. Jesus. Oh well. I think I'll end it here, YouTube. I shall see you in the next video. Goodbye.